So if you find yourself sitting there and you're suffering and you're in this bubble where you've got all these cravings and all you can think of is going to engage in PMO and you're trying to figure out, how do I get out of this situation? Like, how do I solve this problem? I've got one word. I've got one word that you can use as a mantra, as a trigger, almost as like a vine to swing yourself, right, from this bubble that we all hate, where you're just sitting there like trying to figure out how not to go engage with PMO. You use this word as a vine from there into the rest of your life, into any other possible thing that you can do, any creative act, any activity, any way that you can just engage with your life. And if you do this over and over and over again, you're leveraging this word to channel the energy of PMO and cravings. You're channeling this situation and the suffering from it. And you're actually leveraging that to build your life more and more over and over and over again. Now, what is the word? The word, and you might have probably heard it before, is transmutation, right? The word is transmutation. We are here not to deny sexual urges, not to suppress them, not to resist them, and not to always use them to go and engage in masturbation and watching porn. We are here to fully feel our sexual feelings, and we're here to transmute those, aka channel that energy, feel it, build it up, accept it, and come face to face with it, and channel it into something else, right? So the word is transmutation. And if you can like groove this word in your mind, in your subconscious, such that every time you're super close to engaging in PMO and you're sitting there and there's cravings and you're bored and you're frustrated and you're just feeling lonely and like you really know you don't want to engage again in PMO, you remind yourself, this energy exists and it's here for a reason. It wants to do something. And normally what I do with it is I go and masturbate and I get a cheap dopamine hit and it's done. And what a waste, right? And you feel shame and you feel guilt and, the cycle repeats. Now we say, well, the energy is here. Instead of doing that, I'm going to still use it for something, but something else, right? Transmute that energy. And trust me, guys, it works. The other word I think of is creation. Your sexual energy is an energy of creation. It's a vibrant force that wants to release. It wants to go. It wants to do something, right? I often thought that a lot of like sexual libido that's constantly building all the time, it's indicative of your system telling you, go into the world and do something, go create, right? Often it's go procreate, but in this case, to avoid PMO, we're saying go and create. That sexual energy is saying, I want to go do something. I'm a force, life force. I literally create life. I want to go into life and create, right? And normally what you do is you just release it. Now we're transmuting it into creation, into a creative activity. So guys, if you don't create, this is your chance to use PMO to level up, to truly transform and become a more powerful creator. That's what we're trying to do anyways, right? That's what we're here to do in the grand scheme of self-actualization and your entire life. So we're accepting these urges and we're transmuting them, right? And every time they're there, you're letting them out in some other way. Now you might ask, well, that's great. I understand this. How do I create? What do I do? How do I transmute it? And where do I transmute it to? What do I do with it, right? Anything. Absolutely anything that's constructive. You could go for a walk. You can do push-ups. You can move around. You can go run. You can go lift weights. You can phone a friend and take all that energy and be super present in that social interaction, right? You can phone a friend, like I said. You can build something. You can create something. You can go write some code, you can go write a book, you can go write a blog, you can go post a video on the internet, film something that you enjoy speaking about. It literally doesn't matter what the activity is. The point here is that you're channeling that energy that sort of raises your vibrational field and it raises your energy. You're now putting that to good use to constructively build up your life, right? Little piece by little piece by little piece. And in a lot of cases, you can even channel that energy to go and approach women and go and attract a partner and end up actually having sex and releasing that energy. So the point is not to never use sexual energy for sexual activity, right? That sexual activity or attracting a woman, and creating an interaction that is sexual, or actually finding a partner for more long-term purposes, that's one of anything you can do. So it's important to say that again, like, we're not trying to take sexual energy all the time and say it can never be used for anything sexual. It has to be for something else. It's just we're trying to avoid releasing it cheaply for something like masturbation and porn, in which case nothing really happened, nothing was created. So we're almost wasting that energy, right? We're trying not to waste that energy. And certainly if you take that energized state and you go out with your friends and you attract some women and you're practicing your social interactions and you're practicing the art of confidence and attracting a partner, that's awesome, right? That's the point. That in itself is amazing because you've moved away from the land of fantasy and you're actually in the real world with real people, real women, real attraction, right? Real sexual experiences. That's the goal. But the point of this whole video is to say that you need to start often like desexualizing your brain. And so sexual energy needs to be seen as not just sex, but a sexually creative force. It's like an energy that draws your presence into life, right? And like I said earlier, you can go write, you can go read, you can go train, you can go for a hike, you can phone a friend, you can meet up with a friend, right? You can do anything that channels that energy into something. You can be creative, you can produce music, you can mix music, whatever you do that connects you to life. This sexual energy, we're now transmuting it to enhance your ability to do that. That's what we're doing, right? So that's pretty much all I had to say. The key takeaway here is to think of this word. This one word, guys, can save you. This one word can save you. Honestly, this one word is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be, right? You're just no longer going to deny and suppress and resist sexual urges. You're almost accepting them more now, but you're saying, cool, but we're going to channel it into something. And why this is also very effective is because what you find, the more you do this, it actually reduces the amount of cravings you get physically. Once you've done something with that energy, it's gone, right? So you're refreshed, you're calm, you no longer have this intense physical craving for PMO. You went for a run, you spoke to a friend, you mixed some music for 2 hours. That energy has now been brought down. It's been transmuted into life. And so you feel back to square one. You feel balanced again. So this is reducing the cravings, not just putting the energy somewhere. Over time, it's slowly going to actually reduce your cravings. And it might have been 2 or 3 years into my journey where I started to understand this idea. I intuitively figured out, like, I think this could be the solution, and it helped so much, right? This helped me so much to both accept the sexual urges, but also to now use it for something. I figured, well, I've got a mass amount of energy here. Let me actually use it and leverage it to actually improve my life more so than if I didn't have it, right? So my sexual cravings and all this PMO cravings and this trap that I'd, fall for over the years from my teenage years, because of that, I actually made my life better, right? If I didn't have that, I might have actually been less developed than I am today. So I figured, start to think of it as you being lucky to have been gifted with all this intense energy. You just need to put it somewhere that's going to be constructive to where you want to go. And that goes back to what I said about having a vision, right? We're trying to disconnect and reconnect, but the only way you can reconnect and the only way you can really transmute well is if you have a vision for life. If you have other things that you're trying to get to, those become the map and the guide of where you're going to transmute this energy into. So give this some food for thought. Write this word down: transmutation, creation. Take the energy, put it into somewhere else, and transmute it, right? Create something. Use sexual energy as the creative force that it is. So I urge you to give this a try. Really think about this. practice it. Next time you have a craving, do something as simple as go for a walk, or do something as simple as phone a friend and channel that energy into your state and have the best conversation you've ever had, right? Try it out. Try it out with a few different activities until you find the specific ways that you can transmute it that are most effective for you and your personality type and what you're interested in, And yeah, see how it goes. So stay tuned, guys.